To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I think you can see that it's snowing again. I don't know if you can see my face. It looks like it's bleached out or washed out. But it's snowing again. And now it's getting so deep that it's even hard to walk in. Carolyn and I are officially stuck here. The road access is closed here. We can't get through. Of course, we only have a two-wheel drive pickup truck. I'm not a big believer in four-wheel drive. Seems like a waste of money to me. You know, you might use it once a year, but that's a whole different story. I've made videos about that. We're getting through. I mean, absolutely no problems. I get a lot of messages. Are you guys okay? You guys okay? Yeah, we're perfect. And I do appreciate all the concern. But I feel like I'm in better shape than most people in the country right now. All the power outages going on. And, you know, our water system froze. I've told you that we have this box out here that we got an IBC tank in there. And it finally did freeze. But it didn't freeze until it got down to 1 degree. Of course, now I'm trying to get it to thaw out without using any electric. I could turn the generator on and thaw it out, but I'm just going to wait until it thaws out on its own. It's 10 degrees outside now. I've raised the temperature to 27 degrees. So, I mean, it's coming up on its own. Of course, you know, I've mentioned many times, I don't want to go through the whole system again, but we got ventilation. I hung this piece of temporary ventilation right here. That's just temporary. Closer to the wood stove, so as it's pulling hot air in, it's going down into the tank outside. So I'm getting about 10 more degrees hotter going into the tank by doing it that way. That'll come down as soon as this hard cold freeze is done. Now on Saturday, I think it's supposed to be up in the 40s. If I'm not thawed out by then, I'll go ahead and open up the tank box and thaw it out manually with a little torch here that I have right here. That way I won't be in fear of the tank itself freezing. The tank isn't frozen. It's just all the plumbing that's frozen. But in the meantime, I had to have water. So immediately after it froze, I filled up buckets of water using our well. So I got 4 buckets of water. We just put bags over them so dirt wouldn't get into them. Of course, we could use lids, but they're all covered with snow. I don't know exactly where to dig them up at. But we've only used 1 bucket so far. And it's been like 3 or 4 days now because we've been collecting snow also. We've been using the snow to put on the stove, kind of put some humidity into the air. It's really dry in here. To get showers, I have this blue Rubbermaid water cooler. You know, you dump water in it and it's got the little spigot on the end. Yesterday I filled that up with hot water and then I'd seal it up. Of course it's insulated, so it was keeping the water hot until I could get the next batch made. So I just did that all day with snow, and by the end of the day I had enough for a shower. And then we put this piece of plywood up here on top of the shower, so you see. And so we can just move that back, put the blue Rubbermaid up there, and then you just squeeze it, and you got water running down, hot water running down on you. After we got it up there, we realized, that makes a good storage area. So we're just going to leave it there. But we're getting through this fine. We're very warm. Actually, we're too warm. It's hard to cool this place off. We open up the windows, and you might be able to see down here in the corner, 84 degrees. Carolyn, now I know y'all are going to think this is nuts. Carolyn has her exercise machine here. This is our manual log splitter. So we brought it in, we put it on the old shower curtain we had so we didn't scratch up the floor and mess up the floor. But she's used this as an exercise machine. She always uses it. I was bringing in some wet wood. I mean, it's like 27%. It's pretty wet. But we noticed if we split it up into smaller pieces that it burns better. As a matter of fact, I have it in here now. So it's doing pretty good. Normally that wouldn't burn, but she split it up small enough that it'll burn. The thing is, you can't use this outside. It's hydraulics. And the hydraulics is so thick outside, it was so cold, that the oil would not flow back into the cylinders fast enough to use it. So she asked if she could bring it in, and I said, I'd rather not do that at first. But the more I thought about it, and the more we needed wood, I thought, you know, it's no different than an exercise machine. And this is her exercise machine, except she was using it outside. So we brought it in. It fits nice in this corner. It's actually absolutely amazing how much we can get into this tiny house. All our little minimalistic needs fit in it just fine. So yesterday she spent probably a good hour just splitting wood. Now, I don't want you to think I make her split the wood. I'll go out there and split it also. But every time I get this machine out, I like using it too. Every time I get it out, she'll come running out to use it. She does not want me to use this. She gets frustrated when I use the maul. I'll go out there with the splitting maul, and I'll just split a piece real fast. She gets frustrated. Well, you should let me do it. We've had these in the past. This is not the first one I've owned. She had one, and then I also had one. It's a 10-ton. You sit your log here. I guess I could demonstrate while we're sitting here talking about it. This log's probably too big. Yeah, it's too big. But you sit your log here and put it right there at the wedge. And then you just pump it up with these little pumps. You got handles. And there's 2 speeds. You have a fast speed right here that kind of moves it, I don't know, maybe an inch per stroke. And then you have a slow speed here, which is your power stroke. So when you get your ram, this ram comes up, and you get it up against the log, then you switch over to the power stroke. This one you wouldn't even be able to move anymore. Then you split it. Over the summer, that's how we split all our wood. I'm actually fascinated how much we got done. I think we got 8 cords split using this. And what we would do, it was so hot, we would just come up for a few minutes at a time, maybe a half hour, split 3 or 4 pieces, go cool off, do the same thing the next day. And over the summer, we got all of it done. So a few days ago, I was telling you that we ordered chickens online through the Tractor Supply store. And I don't want to go through the whole story again, but I do need to give you a little bit of background story in case there's a new viewer, or you didn't get to catch the last video, or you don't remember the last video. I called the Tractor Supply store and asked them when Chick Days was going to be here. And they didn't have a date for me. Well, so I got online and I started looking and realized, oh, you can order through the Tractor Supply company chickens online and they'll ship them out to you. Now, normally, they won't ship them out. At least this is what Carolyn believes. I mean, she's bought chickens before online. Normally, they won't ship them out until the temperature and the climate and everything is right. So here we are on sub-zero temperatures. You can order them because you want to be first in line. So the earlier you order them, like in February, you'll get the first batches when they're hatched. But I went ahead and I asked the hatchery, how do you ship out chickens in cold climate like this? And they said, oh no, we put them in a heating pad, put them in an insulated box, and we send it through the mail, 2-day shipment, and the post office is supposed to call you. They didn't show up in 2 days like they said, so I was concerned that they were still out there somewhere. So 7 days later, I finally call customer service center at the Tractor Supply store. Of course, I called the Tractor Supply store. They had no idea what I was talking about. Called the customer service, and they said, oh, no. They don't ship it out until like Wednesday, and then you'll get it on Friday. So, and it just so happened that I was on Wednesday. So on Friday, sure enough, they showed up. The problem is the post office didn't call me. The delivery guy brought them to me. And I'm certain that they froze to death in the vehicle. So I called the Tractor Supply store again and told them what happened. And she was like, well, of course they're not supposed to do that. Why did they do that? Well, of course, I've talked to everybody in the world about these chickens. And now I'm like, okay, why didn't somebody tell me this before? I didn't have one hint that there was going to be a problem with the chickens. So she said, we can either send you some more, or you can wait until February 22nd, and you can go pick up some at Chick Days at the Tractor Supply Company. Well, this was like on the 12th, so I only had to wait a few days. I thought, well, okay, yeah, that's right. You just go ahead and reimburse me my money, and I'll go to Tractor Supply store on the 22nd and get more chickens. Well, yesterday I called the Tractor Supply store, and I said, the one closest to me, which is not that close. And I asked them, I said, are you still having Chick Days on the 22nd of February? She said, I don't know, I have to check with my boss. So she checked with her boss, she came back, and she said, no, we don't know when we're going to have it. And I said, well, your customer service said it was 22nd. Well, with COVID and the cold temperatures, we have no idea when we're actually going to do it. And I thought, oh, here we go. All the excuses in the world. I gave up. I asked Carolyn, I said, I know you're on Facebook a lot. Is there anything on Marketplace, any hatcheries that you've seen? She said, well, yeah, there's a couple. I'll look around again tonight. She stumbled across an ad on Orscheln's on Facebook saying they're going to have Chick Day in 13 days. Well, Orscheln's is actually closer to us than Tractor Supply store, and the Tractor Supply store wouldn't confirm what date they were going to do it. So I thought, well, I'll give Orscheln's a call and see what happens. Actually, there's 2 of them closer. Called them first, and they said, are you going to have Chick Days in 13 days? I saw a Facebook post that Orslyn is going to have chick days in 13 days. She says, no, we're having chick days right now. Well, of course, we're snowed in. I'm like, oh, I can go get chickens right now. I said, well, how long are you going to have it? She said, oh, a long time. All this trouble, and Orslyn's was the one that had it. As soon as we can get out of here, I got to shovel the snow in front of the truck, and as soon as they get the road cleared, which I don't know when that'll be. I mean, the townspeople clear the road around here. I've said many times, we're unincorporated, and some guy with a tractor, he'll come by and clean off the road. And I think, we all kind of chip in and help him out. But I'll shovel out the truck, and then we'll go get some chickens here. I don't know, hopefully here real soon, maybe this weekend. Of course, I want to get my water unthawed before I worry about the chickens. So I hope I can inspire you to find your happiness and comfort. Thanks for watching.